Nyobi, thank you for finding a camera for me. I'm bringing you on now, sir.
Oh, it wasn't about finding the camera. It was I woke up, I was shirtless. I had to go run to the shower. I had to go shave. You understand?
It's good. You look amazing.
Well, I am pretty cute. You know, that's what
Yeah.
they say. So I won't take up all your time. I do want to come on and say hello. Here's the thing. I'm a comic book creator, right? I'm in the industry. I'm in Diamond Magazine. I've been in there 6 times. And if anyone wants to doubt that, here's the book right here. We just actually had our latest issue drop in comic book shops this Wednesday with that Paul Green cover right there. Okay.
All right. Nyobi, Birthright.
That's right. So we are published by Antarctic Press and have been for quite some time. So I'm coming to you as someone who is in. No, I'm not Marvel or DC. Let's be real here, right? But I am in the industry. You know, you can get my books in shops, and we work with some great people like Mike DeBuffalo, okay, or Jamie Tyndall, okay, or Greg Bo Watson. And as far as CGC goes, we do that too. We have a creator account, and we've had Ben Dunn, the founder of Antarctic Press and Ninja High School. We got Keith Garvey, known for his work with Zenoscope. All right. So when it comes to various issues in comic books, and let's start, I'll pick on maybe 1 or 2. Let's start with comic book shops dying. Okay.
Sure.
No one wants to hear the drama, but it's true, right? The reason why comic book shops are dying is because Marvel and DC aren't selling as well. And that could be for whatever reason. The reasons vary, right? It could be price point. It could be not enough shops. It could be kids just are reading more manga, whatever it is, right? But comic books the industry will die if Marvel and DC shut their doors, and they got to sell more books, which means they need better product. So I'm not sure what their plans are to do that. But if I was in their business, I'd be very worried right now, because there are guys like me who are now sitting on the same shelf as Batman looking to get your dollar, right? I mean, it's just flat out. That's just the way 100%. It is, you know? And so if you are not, and some people love Marvel, some people don't, whatever. If you're unhappy though, don't stop going to the shop. Go to the shop and ask that shop owner, hey, is there any other books you can recommend to me? Maybe they'll recommend you mine. Maybe they'll recommend you someone else's. But you might actually get something you like instead of closing the door. Because here's what happens. Like, comic books is more than just the world of collectors, right? And I get it. You guys love your 9/8. I mean, I do too, right? I like selling them. No, don't get me wrong. I'm a collector. I got 13 long boxes that are right over there, you know? Alex, the comic hoarder, would know this, because Alex and I used to be friends. You know, we would stream together. I streamed with the Great Legend Show, Comics with Bueller. I was one of the founding members of the Comic Core. I've been in this game, in the YouTube game, for a long, long time. You guys probably don't know me because I've sort of been on the creator side of things now, as opposed to talking about speculation and what's hot and what's not and all this sort of stuff. But I used to do all that, all of it. With regards to CGC, that's horrible. Look, Immaculate Comics went on the other day and showed just how easy it is, with a little tender love and care, how you can legit slide a book right out and slide another one right back in. That means all hype, as far as I'm concerned, all high price books are compromised. They're all compromised. CGC comes out with a statement that hundreds of books are compromised. That's being very conservative on their part. Because here's the thing, the book doesn't even have to go through them anymore to be compromised. If I say had a 9.8 Spider-Man 300, right? And I replace it with a 9.0 or an 8.5, slap it in the case, throw it up on eBay, and you buy it, and maybe you don't have the keen eye as some other collectors, you take a quick look and you go, oh, okay, cool, right? You put it away and you never look at it again. Then I take that actual 9.8 that I took out of the slab and replace it with the batter copy and resubmit it to CGC. And then I get it back and I can pull that scam all over again. You guys have to worry about that. CGC needs better cases, better tampering, because until that actually comes out, you know, these Hulk 181s, these Spider-Man 252s, you know, whatever these sort of, you know, because no one's going to worry about, hey, you graded a comic for $20. That you're safe. You know what I mean? Because it's not worth their time to go through that effort to take out these books and stuff. So I wouldn't get overly worried. But if you got big boy books, and that's what we used to call them back in the day, big boy books, right? I would scrutinize your books a little bit more. And I would definitely I cannot wait for CGC to relist the list of compromised books, because that is going to be like getting the Epstein list for comics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, flat out, that's what it is, right? And everyone then is going to be looking. They're all going to grab their cases, and they're all going to, you know, look for that serial number. And I'm telling you, it's going to be more than one guy doing that. Okay, it's just not one bad apple. It's probably a team of bad apples. And now that video, by the way, has circulated on YouTube, it was very eye-opening. The problem is now you just taught a whole shit ton of people how to do it.
I agree with that.
Right?
It was
That's a problem.
Yeah, I feel of two minds about it, because it's on the one hand, it's like, well, this is great information in theory to put out there, but had Immaculate came to me and said, "Hey, Swag, I was thinking of making this video, blah, blah, blah," I probably would have said, like, I think you can make it, but you probably should just edit out a couple parts.
Yeah, what would you edit out? Like the heat gun part?
Yeah, you could have just said and then not quite shown it, because, like you said, I do think that it in some ways it added to the problem. In some ways, it needed to be seen. But I agree with some of the things that you've said, that it is a problem in so much as this probably does open it up to where CGC has their hand forced now, where they probably have to come out with a new case.
They had to come out with that statement, right? And that took them a little bit. And then they said that they were going to have a private investigator. Why do you think they're having a private investigator for? Because they want to see how deep this rabbit hole really goes, you know?
Well, I do think that I said in my video, I said that I hope they do a thorough investigation, because yes, clearly this person, the forums discovered that it's hundreds of books. This person was in on it, but there's nothing to say that someone else hasn't done this as well. So, they're going to have to leave no stone unturned with how they look into this. And if something can be done, it probably has been done. That's just the nature of it.
I love the comment here. Comic shops are dying because of overcharging and bad customer service. No, listen, you had 3 retailers come on with Mark Miller, and all of them told you guys the same thing. And these guys are the retailers for the largest comic book shops in the United States. And you still refuse to listen to them? That's another problem. These are the guys with boots on the ground selling my product to people out there like you guys. Okay. We depend on the shops. If Marvel and DC went down, the foot traffic stops going to the shops. By proxy, that destroys my business, because people come in for Batman, right? They're going to go in for Batman, and hopefully when they walk by the shelf, they see something else cool. I know I did. When I was younger, right? You talked about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, right? I remember going in and buying my X-Men, and I remember seeing Mirage Studios, Black and White Turtles, or Cerebus the Aardvark, or Ninja High School, or some of these other sort of unknown indie books. And I would pick them up because I was there for something else, but I grabbed it off the shelf. I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool. Without that foot traffic, comic books are in big trouble, right? If Marvel and DC do decide to shut down their doors, or the other possibility is that they outsource it, right? So maybe IDW licensed Spider-Man, or Boom Studios takes on the X-Men, because that's a possibility too. And we've already seen that because Marvel has out-licensed stuff for their children's line, right? To these other companies. That's almost like a testing ground. Then you have DC Comics, who are now trying to put out books in a manga format size to try and appeal to younger readers, right? So there's a huge scramble going on right now. It's like, how do we actually get people back interested in comic books? Because I'll tell you, if we don't get the younger kids reading comics again, they die with us. They'll become like the records, right? Records are cool and they're nostalgia and everyone buying them now. But those slabs that you got behind you, those are going to be the records of today's comic books. You know what I mean? And then comic books are eventually, at some point, probably, and I hate to say this because it would destroy my business, is going to go digital at some point. Because everyone is born now with a little device in their hands, and that's how they read and get their content, right? I can tell you that because I talk to younger kids all the time, especially when I see them at the shop. And I say, what's it about comic books? Or, why don't, what's it about manga? And they're like, well, we love it because we can get it on our phone. One guy told me he didn't want 13 long boxes in his house because it looked ugly. You hear that story about how people rather buy the trades and the omnibuses. Well, if you do that, you're kind of hurting the overall end goal, because it is the floppies that pay to have those trades made. Without the floppy selling, you can't make the trade, right? Sure. Eric Larson came right out and just said this on a statement, So if you really care about comics, I would say do a couple of things. Watch what you're doing with CGC. Be careful of that, because obviously we've seen the flaws and the scams, and I'm sure more is going to roll out as time goes on. And if you do go to the comic book shop and you're not seeing the stuff you like, give other stuff a try, because I'm sure there's some gems in there, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
And by the way, Nyobi Birthright did go on sale this Wednesday, so go pick it up.
Who dat said Nyobi, one of the best. Congratulations on 1K.
So Who Dat Comics, that's oh god, I love Who Dat because he was another guy that was around back in my day. Yeah, yeah. You know, him and Alex, and but like I can name drop a bunch of guys from back in the time, but I'm sure you would probably know all of them. So great to see Who Dat out there in the chat. Great to see Alex out there in the chat. Anyone else that knows me and I didn't quite see your name, great to see you out in the chat. I just want to let you guys know. It's been a few years, but I'm still doing my thing. Nyobi's a different beast now than when Alex and Who Dat first saw, because we were black and white. We might as well have been printing off a Xerox printer, right? And stapling our comic books together. We've grown so much. We do $30,000 Kickstarters now. We're published by Antarctic Press. And 2024 is going to be, you know, it's going to be a great year. Absolutely. I hope so. I'll definitely go check out Nyobi. You guys should check out Nyobi. Great stuff. Great thoughts, great comments. And yeah. Well, we talk about this stuff all the time. So the last shill I would say is come by my channel and see what it is that we do. We'll do. All right. Thanks, brother. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's.